Hello, everyone! As we're waiting for the 70th episode by Dafook to get released really soon, I got another interesting idea for the video. Today, I'm going to talk about those predictions I made in the past that eventually came out to be true. I'm really curious about the predictions I've made about episode 70 as well, so I really hope Dafook will release another part soon. Now, get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end, because I saved the craziest predictions for the best part. Let's go! Aside from those two buds, I've also made a prediction about Plungerman having a really special role in the future episodes of the series. In my analysis of episode 50, I've said the following thing. I'm glad he's alive, and I'm sure there's a special role for him in this show. Based on the information I got about him from the previous episodes, I always considered him a truly brave and powerful warrior, which could be easily distinguished in the crowd of other cameramen. And I simply couldn't hold on the idea that Dafook wouldn't do anything special about him, because this guy really seemed to be a gem. And it was something that I also predicted in the analysis of episode 51. I'm sure in the next episodes we'll see the main mission of the Plunger cameraman and finally be able to bring back the infected Titan Speakerman. Another prediction that I've made was connected to the coolest technical upgrade ever produced by the cameraman scientists, and you can remember it from episode 63. Do you remember this epic scene where Plungerman simply destroys the Skibidi mutant while entering the battle on the advanced flying wheelchair? Well guys, what if I'll tell you that I predicted the development of such a technology long before this episode was released? In my analysis of episode 54, I actually predicted the next totally awesome technical improvement that our Chad with plungers had gotten, and I connected it to the Mecha Scientist cameraman's genius mind. Listen to what I had mentioned in that analysis. Here, it's like all the Skibidi's muscles have contracted so he can't move, but he's alive. I'm sure the scientist chose this weapon to further explore this invention of the Skibidi toilets. It is the exact technology that is more powerful than all guns and plungers. I bet that this wheelchair was created on the base of the glitch toilet apparatus, who was apparently captured by the Alliance's scientists. Because in my analysis, I said how this glitch toilet didn't seem to be perished. He was simply immobilized with the paralyzing darts Mecha Scientist had shot at him. And later, he was used for the Alliance's scientific research, in the process of which Plungerman's flying wheelchair had been created. Everything happens for a reason, I guess. Now it's time for that one prediction that I personally find to be just insane. Let's get far back to my video titled, Who G-Man Really Is, which is dated by the release of episode 53. And honestly, even stepping aside from the prediction itself, I must tell you guys that I've got a bunch of really interesting things in this video where I covered a lot of little to discuss secrets of Season 18. Now let's hear what I had said back then. I still don't understand why TV Woman didn't free Titan Speakerman from the parasite, by the way, since she has the ability to take control of Skibidi. Maybe we'll see that in the new 18th season of the show. You heard that right, folks. What I just said there is the direct foreseeing of the finale of the second part of episode 57. Because if you remember, in that episode, TV Woman had done the job Plungerman didn't succeed in. She teleported right on the infected Titan Speakerman's body and got to his back with ease, removing him from the parasite for good. And the next theory that I am really proud of is the one involving the possible inside content of the Skibidi bunker. When the first part of episode 68 had come out, everyone got to be really curious about what might be happening inside of the bunker, and what exactly Big TV Man had been showing to that episode's POV cameraman, and I was no exception there. And I've got a really untypical thought regarding that matter, because you know, it was not such a long time before Dafook's episode release, when the 17th episode of Dom Studios' Multiverse series came out. And in that episode, there was also a bunker appearing with multiple cool references to different horror films and games. So as I finished analyzing it, and then I saw the intriguing ending for the last part of episode 67 and the first part of episode 68, I was like, you know, it actually seems kind of fitting. What if Dafook would actually get inspired by Fan Animation's works and incorporate something like this into his original series as well? I predicted that Dafook may lean into the horror side of things as well, and the next few episodes would be focused on the atmosphere instead of fighting and showing us new types of Skibidi. What we see further in episode 17 as we keep going deeper to underwater Skibidi base is some spookiest stuff I've ever seen, both in the multiverse and the original series. We've been shown a bunch of new Skibidi types, and my guess is that we may also observe some of the weirdly cool things in the underground base. And I actually hit the spot here. The second part of episode 68, and especially the first part of episode 69, were really everything I expected them to be, and even more. And here's another thing I've said in my bunker video. I assume that this base will be kind of huge, and that the most part of it will be hidden deep underground. There, I said how I think that this one base will be hidden deep underground, because in the Dom Studios work, the base was underwater. So I've made a certain correlation here. And I still stand my ground by saying that I find the idea of Dafuk appreciating and getting inspired by other fan creators' work really cool and refreshing. Maybe we will see the official collaboration between him and Dom Studio one day. Who knows? That would be really epic. And another correct prediction that I've made really early was about the role of Black Speaker Man as a character. As you guys know, the very first time we saw Black Speaker Man was in episode 24. When we could see him briefly dancing in the background with other speakermen, and he was really distinctive due to his black speaker, red shirt, and the charcoal tie. My eye really caught him out of the whole crowd immediately, and although he hadn't been creating an impression of being something more than just a cool dancing dude, I had a feeling that he would eventually become a more complex and developed character. I've made a prediction that due to his unique appearance, he might one day become some kind of special agent of a member of the elite squad. I think this guy has more power than the regular speakerman. We don't see him develop on the show, but I would really like to see him become one of the main characters along with Plungerman. And guess who appeared once again in episode 63 in all his glory? Although some people speculate that those are different characters, I really stick to the idea that it's the same guy who's been put into some really good use sometime later. And I've made the same prediction in another video of mine too, which was called Legendary Plunger Cameraman. Perhaps in the future, we will see another brave warrior, but already from the race of speakermen. And another really dramatic prediction that I've made was the one simp cameraman that could be found in my analysis of the first part of episode 57. And this is just crazy, guys, so hold tight not to miss anything. So, when my analysis for the first part of episode 57 came out, Dafuk hadn't released the second part of it yet, so we had been waiting for it with the held breath. And that's what I said. Then there's a reason we're shown the love story between TV Woman and the simp cameraman. What if along with unrequited love, we see TV Woman's betrayal? That would be really emotional. I think we'll see that in part 2. I assumed that there would be the sad continuation of the love story between simp cameraman and TV Woman from episode 54, where she rejected his advances. And I said that I would expect some sort of TV Woman's betrayal. And guess what happens in the very next part of the same episode? Yep, that's right. Simp cameraman gets badly injured in the battle where gigantic creatures were being involved, and what TV Woman does is saves wounded Plungerman only, while leaving her unlucky admirer on the battlefield. Honestly, this scene simply shocked me when the second part of episode 57 had been released. I mean, I did expect it coming, but at the same time, I still didn't. What a time to be alive that was, my friends. Now let's move on to another prediction that turned out to be true. Do you guys remember the epic appearance of the heavily upgraded Titan TV Man in the third part of episode 67? Sure thing you do, because it blew everyone's mind at the time. But the oldest subscribers of my channel should actually remember how I predicted such an emergence of him full of new, cool improvements a very long time ago. In the end of my analysis of episode 49, I said that I expect Titan TV Man to get repaired in the main cameraman's laboratory after the battle he had experienced in episode 47. And that he may also get upgraded. Also, I'm pretty sure that this lab will repair the TV Man Titan. If you guys remember, his TV screen was cracked due to the knife attack produced on him by the infected Titan speakerman, who launched at him sneakily from the behind. In my analysis, I stated that I expect to see his damaged TV screen removed and replaced by something more interesting and not so vanilla in the future episodes. And guess what we saw in the third part of episode 67? That was our good old Titan TV Man with the bajillions of upgrades, based on the modernity of his new cool TV screens. Also, in my analysis of episode 63, I said how I expect the upgraded Titan TV Man to show up and help his friends in battle soon. I think if the improved Titan TV Man comes back during the battle and helps his friends, it will be mega epic. Which is exactly what happened in the third part of episode 67. If you guys remember, that's exactly what happened there. Titan TV Man showed up in the right moment during the heated battle all the big boys were involved into and prevented the possible destruction of Titan Cameraman. He also got a pretty neat opportunity to brag with his new upgrades and modernized TV screens, and that was what I actually expected him to do. But my predictions about the new possible upgrades didn't touch only Titan TV Man. In my video titled, Who G-Man Really Is, I talked about how the infected Titan Speakerman can also get some possible powerful upgrades in the future episodes in order to confront the Alliance powers with more success. Because at the moment of the episode released, Skibidi Army seemed to clearly be the losing one in the war. So it needed some real reinforcement, and the infected Titan Speakerman could be the right opportunity to play such a role. Also, I'm guessing that while TV Man Titan was recovering and improving, the infected Titan Speakerman might have been upgraded as well. And I didn't stop just there, but I also predicted two things. First, I mentioned how the nature of the infected Titan Speakerman's future defenses would be the raised level of protection for the parasite controlling his body. And the second thing is that I also predicted the new G-Man's improvements concentrated on adding more protection and arms for him. The toilets have clearly been losing in recent episodes, but we don't see either G-Toilet or the infected Speakerman. They both seem to be on an upgrade at the Skibidi Scientist Lab. Speakerman Titan can build a strong defense against the parasite, and G-Toilet can be made well-protected and more heavily armed. So, in episode 57, we saw Titan Speakerman equipped with more advanced speakers protecting the place the parasite was sitting in. And what about G-Man is that in episode 67, during one of the most important battles, we saw the most advanced version of him that clearly had his strong points both in protection and combat. There's another moment where I've made the same prediction, but in another video of mine. In my analysis of episode 55, I mentioned how I expect to see the duo of the infected Titan Speakerman and G-Man being leveled up together soon. It's also possible that it's about G-Toilet and the infected Speakerman. They too were probably improved by Skibidi scientists, because we haven't seen them for a long time. Another prediction that hit right the spot dozens of episodes later was in my Speakermen Gone video, where I mentioned how, considering the raising levels of the Alliance's military power and Titan Cameraman going complete badass mode in fights with Skibidi toilets, I expect the Alliance to expand further to the Skibidi Army territories, namely to their main base. We also see the cameramen defeat the Skibidi toilets in recent episodes and kick them out of their territories. I think they are advancing towards the Skibidi toilet base, and we all know now, guys, that the possible grand finale of the whole Skibidi toilet series is about to happen inside of the main Skibidi base, the inners of which we saw in the second part of episode 68. And before that, we witnessed the whole military operation unfolded by the Alliance forces, the point of which was to get closer to the Skibidi base. And besides that, here's also yet another prediction that I managed to put almost back-to-back to the previous one. Just a moment later, I suspected how the Alliance would eventually move further to the Skibidi territories as they'll become stronger in order to complete the most important task, to set the infected Titan Speakerman free. Their goal is to free Titan Speakerman. I'm sure we'll find out what the reason for the missing Speakerman is when we see the denouement with their Titan. So, when episode 57 came out, we finally witnessed the whole process of Titan Speakerman being freed of his parasite ordeal that burdened him for so long. And the last but not least prediction I've made was in my analysis of episode 61, where I jokingly commented the emergence of Moist Critical's Skibidi, who is officially called Geeky Jesus Skibidi Toilet. There, I said how I expect Dafuk to put more funny or lighthearted references to the real people out there, or some celebrities to make the mood of the whole series brighter. First time we've seen Skibidi with the head of a real famous person. It would be cool to see references like this in future episodes. And guess what we saw in the second part of episode 68? Those were damn Jesse Pinkman and Walter White Skibidi. Man, I really had a good laugh when I saw them. I actually think Dafuk chose the perfect time and the perfect place right near the finale to make us laugh and relax a bit. Because you know, the final battle is coming. And as Dafuk said himself in his official Discord server announcement message, it's going to be one of the most intense and unnerving things we are ever about to see in the series. And by the way, speaking of it, Dafuk has warned us that the 70th episode is getting delayed, unfortunately. So I don't have an opportunity now to see whether my most recent predictions came true or not. I guess I'll make another predictions video when the next episode comes out, because damn, there's plenty to unpack. In any case, I hope you really enjoyed today's video, so hit the like and subscribe button not to miss my new cool videos. And that was me, IsoToilet. See ya!